Good evening, everybody, and I am Dan Hollifield. Welcome to Last Man Standing. Um, Stupid O'Clock was interesting tonight, very eventful. There's some good and some bad. We will not go any further on that one, but it'll get better. It'll get better. And here we got Mike Jimmy, and
Good morning.
we got Kiri in the comment section. Kiri, I did just send you a link. If you want to pop in, that would be wonderful. And coffee time for you and pet the kitty time, isn't it?
Cheers.
Yes. Cheers. Um, Not coffee for me, but
Close enough. It's the
yeah,
evening coffee.
for oh yes, the adult beverage of 1 a.m. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I'm kind of
Oh,
upset at the weather because there was stuff I wanted to get done today and it rained, so I couldn't get any of it done. So that just means that the next day that certain shops are open and I have time to go and do it, it will be a rather brisk dash home from work and then go ahead and get this stuff done. Um, and it doesn't look good. My weather report for the next week is
oh,
uh, a lot of rain, a lot of rain. But it's all right. We've been in a drought here lately. It's not as severe as the one that we were suffering from about 10 years ago. That lasted for about 10 years. So
damn.
oh yeah, everything was drying up and blowing away. Basically, it was a uh, if it wasn't for the fact that the humidity stays in the high 80s in Georgia, it would have been a dust bowl. But we had enough water in the air to keep the ground from turning to
Mm-hmm.
sand, and even if it didn't rain to really do the crops and plants any good, we've got enough going on right now. I mean, we've had uh, for the last week or so, every afternoon after I got home from work, it would bucket down. And sometimes it would not wait for me to get home from work, which is why I'm glad I keep an umbrella in the car. If I can remember to take it into the factory when I go in the morning, I've got protection. If it starts raining while I'm trying to get to the parking lot and get to the car, I'm thinking strongly. I need to buy another little foldable umbrella and put it in my locker at work for those occasions where I don't get any advance warning. It doesn't look like it's going to rain. It's 6 a.m. and at 3:30 when I come out, what's
Mm-hmm.
this strange substance falling from the sky?
The heavens are falling on our heads.
Really, Chicken Little was right. Oh, and yeah, Kiri, I just sent you a link. So if you want to pop in, please do. Um,
Yeah, we're looking at the 70s and low 80s coming up
mm,
in the Netherlands, which is high for us because our humidity is usually 100%.
mm-hmm,
So I'm gonna sweat very hard moving boxes because I'm working full time now.
mm-hmm. I read that. Yeah, you're trying to finance getting those other three comics out. You've got to pay the artists and pay the printer and everybody else.
You gotta do the thing, gotta do the grind. That's how it goes.
I'm sure there's a piper involved somewhere.
The worst part is like last week Friday we had a 15-hour workday. It turned into extremes.
Mm.
Last Friday, same deal. We got home even later.
Oh dear.
I got home at 10:30 p.m. We started at 6 in the morning. I I was so done.
that sounds like my schedule when I was farming, actually.
Yeah, no, this is moving boxes and better bring enough lunch because if you don't, you're gonna be dead.
Yes, I had a few days in the last couple of weeks where unexpectedly I was having to work 12-hour days instead of 8-hour days. And thankfully, I say unexpectedly, I did have advance warning. So my wife did pack me extra stuff for meals. 8-hour day, you know, breakfast, lunch, and a snack. But 12-hour a day, breakfast, lunch, tea, and a snack.
Mm-hmm.
And I say tea because my wife is English, so that is a
It's
meal.
the 4 p.
Uh, yep. I would call it
Yeah,
dinner, but then dinner is usually much later than what I would get home after a 12-hour day. So,
for me, on a usually it's 6 to 5, where I'll get like 6 sandwiches that I'll make myself because
hmm
I'm alone. Bachelor life. When I know we're gonna have a horrible day, I pack 12. Just half a loaf of bread, just straight into my backpack,
hmm
and it sometimes still isn't enough. It's yeah,
uh, I used to uh, I used to keep about 6 cans of Campbell's soup in my locker at work for emergencies
yeah,
because that stuff has a long shelf life. And most of the time, emergencies happen frequently enough to where I did not have to worry about the shelf life of the canned soup. Let me tell you, but
yeah.
there were some good varieties there. Hey, Kiri, glad you could join us too.
Hey,
Hello, how are you guys doing tonight?
Getting by.
waking up.
Yeah.
Let me snooze myself. There we go. You're gonna hear my phone go off every 5 minutes because
Oh,
my
Joe Dog
mornings
was
are
having that
full.
problem earlier. Uh, during stupid o'clock, Joe's phone was going off like, and he's going, damn it, it's 10 o'clock at night. Why are you? Oh, it's Helicon business. Excuse me, I got to do this.
Uh, yeah, no. The moment I wake up until the moment I go to bed, I get messages all over the place. You know, it's art is only 5% of my work at this point.
Mm, I understand. I understand. Well, the the light box that I ordered so that I could do the tracing from the photograph, so I can do an oil
Yeah.
painting. It should be arriving on the 12th. I
Ooh,
will be at work.
nice.
Now I don't know that this thing has internal batteries. I do believe it has a wall wart that plugs in.
Hmm.
So it should be fine. I'm going to have to think of where the hell in the house I can use a where I can put this thing as a workstation, because it's going to have to sit there with the stuff set up and ready to go when I've got time to do it, and I'm not going to be able to do it all in one day.
Yeah.
And then once I actually get it to where I can trace it to the canvas, that's going to be that's going to be time consuming too. Hey, we got Chris with us as well.
Hey.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
I
But
started I started wondering if you were gonna show for the stream, Chris.
I was planning on it. I just figured I would go ahead and hit the men's room before I got on
hmm
here.
Good idea.
That's a good idea.
yep, that's why I ducked out in the last few minutes of stupid o'clock because I
Perfectly
knew
understandable.
once the credits start rolling for stupid o'clock, and once the credits start rolling at stupid o'clock, I've got 2 minutes to hit the opening credits for this show, and they only last for 2 minutes. And at my age, that ain't enough time, especially given the intake of beer that I go through. So,
Um, yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll have some more people join in.
hey, you sent Nita a link, so if she popped in the last few minutes of Stupid O'clock, maybe she'll pop in here. That'd be great. Um,
Yeah, I hope so.
yeah,
She's
I'm
always
sure
fun.
well, she's a
more
lot
the
of
mer. Oh, more the merrier. Yeah.
full of energy.
Oh yeah,
Very creative.
she
Lot of
lives in
fun.
time zones.
Oh,
And
time
I
zones
think
are
she's
really.
actually a little to the west of us, so she's probably got an extra hour we
No,
have already used up.
Yeah, she is.
Central, I believe.
I'm trying to remember. Is she in New Orleans or
I was thinking
Baton
Louisiana,
Rouge
but I
or
don't
yeah?
know.
Not sure. Let me check.
Well, I have to rely on my memory, which is unless it's something I'm writing, my memory is not that good.
Louisiana. Yeah.
Oh, is that from War Games?
It is.
Mm,
Oh, that movie was such a good movie for back then.
that was a fun one. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was.
And the general was he was one of my favorite secondary characters. I love his delivery style. Barry Corbin's.
I always liked the professor character. For some reason,
Oh yeah,
reminded
Professor Falcon's awesome.
he reminded me of Patrick Troughton, actually,
Mm.
which is really strange. But oh,
Yeah, Joe. Well, all right.
Good night, Joe.
Glad you could
Night, Joe.
join in for a little bit.
yeah, and good luck staying awake all night on the midnight shift. I tell you,
Oof.
Yeah.
I don't miss those. I really don't. Although I've had to
No.
endure a few lately during all this training stuff we've had to do at work. I have had to pull a couple of
Oh.
graveyard shifts, and they were not as much fun as I remember them being 40 years ago.
Dan, do you remember the movie Top Secret?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember when Latrine was waxing philosophically with Nick Rivers?
Uh
Where he goes into the life is full of its little miseries,
huh.
So, somehow appropriate for. Of course, when he sneezes, he panics and jumps out the frame.
Oh, Lord. Yes. Nick. Interesting name. Yes, my father came up with it while he was shaving.
Yeah. Wait,
So,
you dropped your funny dog poo. What? Funny dog poo. How they got Omar Sharif to play
this is,
that movie, I have no idea.
hey, he probably was given a script and go, okay, he's a decent guy. I mean, seriously. Um,
Yeah, but you would think an actor of his caliber would not go for something of that nature. Of course, he may have just thought it was funny or had a friend that was involved
hey,
in the production.
that should there should be there should be a name for that class of movie, that kind of deadpan humor. I mean, you'd get the airplane movies in there, and you'd get the
It's a screwball spoof comedy.
yeah, the Police Squad, and oh yeah, and definitely Th- there's so many things like that would. Hey, and we have Anita as well. Hey, darling, and welcome
Hey,
to the show.
Well, hello.
Hello.
good morning.
Thank you
Glad you
for.
could be
Morning.
here.
Well, thank you.
Oh,
Mike, you traitor whore. What are you doing here?
I'm always
Oh.
here. This is my morning education and therapy.
Mm.
I love the cup, by the way.
It's white out,
Try
bro.
'em, consume them.
You might like it.
I was distracted by all the blue.
Yeah, it's rough. I need to go really take this shit off my face. Oh my
No, I was
gosh.
talking about the headgear,
Oh,
the
yeah, it's
shirt,
a bit
the,
much,
you know,
right?
the background, the
Yeah,
shells,
kind of.
whatever.
I'm kind of just blended in. It's camouflage, man. Look.
It's all right. I like it.
no, the mask was supposed to go down on the lower half of your face.
My younger brother is a big North Carolina fan, and it reminds me of their blue.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
But part of me is amused and entertained while, you know, waiting on the awesomeness to erupt from you.
My awesomeness is exerted today. It's like I have like overextended it. It's gone. Shut up, Umbra.
I know that one. I did 72 hours this week.
Cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I missed literally every single show that you have for European times.
Oh, wow.
Oh man, your cat
Yeah,
had
no, I was
awesome.
home at 9:30 on Friday. No, I was home at 10:30. We were done at 9:45. Oh, it's 8 hours.
Yeah, she won't be quiet. She decides as soon as I get online, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna run for about an hour."
Yeah, I have a cat editor here. She will tell me when my inks aren't good enough, and she will smudge.
I love the look she's got on her face.
Yeah,
She's very judgmental.
she is very judgmental, but she also has because of her eyebrows, the way her fur falls, she always looks very confused, and she knows exactly that she does that way, and she will
She's
use
got
it.
me as looking like an owl.
And she was cute this morning, holding your foot.
Yeah. Yeah. She does that. And whenever I'm asleep, I'm trying to sleep, she will get on my pillow and she will not lay down until there's a hand on my pillow so that she can rest her head on.
Aww.
Yeah. And she missed me this week. Friday, my mom had to feed her, and she wouldn't eat if when someone is in the kitchen. So my mom folded my laundry while she was eating.
Oh,
And I'm like, you didn't have to do that. And my mom was like, yeah, well, guess what? Your cat is so stubborn.
it's very difficult to outstubborn a cat.
Yes.
I think Robert Heinlein observed that most
she made my
markedly.
mom sit down in my desk chair and kept meowing at her until she sat down, dropped in her lap, and just went for a cuddle because she was so lonely. Yeah, she's had a rough week.
She was lonely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ours are all getting elderly now, so Lindsay started giving them canned food as a treat before giving them their dry food that they will munch on the rest of the day. So I will go out on the porch on my way out to go to work in the mornings, and they're all lined up at the screen door going, I'm sorry, I know it's propped open a foot wide, but I can't get in there. And I'm going, cat, if you get any fatter.
Yeah, I got
no,
one of those
I'll
too.
go and open the screen door, and it'll be like the Schoolhouse Rock or something. The kids will come boiling in, and they'll sit there on the porch waiting on her to come out and feed them. And then the ones in the inside the chain link fence outside, they'll be looking at the back door, just
That's it.
any minute now. It's 6:02. Where are you? Yeah.
And speaking of war games and the General Rich, I apologize for not saying that earlier. But yeah, that's one of my favorite lines from that movie.
It was a really good movie back then. Still is.
I
Like,
heard the sequel wasn't bad. I've yet to watch
There's
it.
a
but it's
sequel?
on-
Oh,
Yeah, there was a War Games 2 made.
I gotta check that out.
I've yet to watch that.
I don't believe it had the same cast, but
If it had the same cast, we'd have heard more about it at the
Yeah.
time.
I heard it was a fairly enjoyable flick.
Hmm.
I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta have one of those movies where you just shut off your brain and be like, okay, I'm just gonna get entertained.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that too. And
No.
like I said, some of the better movies that I've discovered have been those that, like I said, weren't necessarily going to make cinematic history, but were a thoroughly enjoyable passage of time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you don't always need a big, important, quote unquote, movie. Just have something fun.
Hello,
Be
Ace.
entertained. Good morning.
Hello.
Oh yeah.
But,
Yeah. Thought I clicked that off again, but no, I clicked off to the side. Get it together, Dan.
One of my favorite little low budget movies that I found on DVD. Don't remember the name of it right offhand, but it had Kiefer Sutherland in it, Robert Fleischman, who voiced Roger Rabbit, and a few others. And he was basically an air traffic controller that had burned out and then came back to help out during a busy holiday weekend, and had some situations arise in it. It was, like I said, it was an enjoyable passage of time.
There was another one Kiefer was in that.
Ground control.
Yes,
Oh,
There was another one that Keith
I had
was
a
in that I
feeling you
enjoyed
might
quite a
know
lot. It was more of a serious movie. Basically, the only reason it wasn't better known is it came out just about the same time as The Matrix. It's called Dark City,
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
and I caught it accidentally, and then
That sounds familiar.
I went out and found the DVD for it. Turns out Richard O'Brien from Rocky Horror Picture Show is in it as one of the bad guys,
ooh.
and it's one of those. How do you wrap your head around the concept sort of movies? It's not readily apparent until you actually get at least halfway through. And then you figure out that this is one of those things, it kind of like the Matrix. Reality is not what you think it is,
Hmm.
but it can be what you make it to be.
It looks vaguely familiar.
Rich is aware of it.
I would highly recommend it. Yes. Um, it's definitely a good use of a couple of hours, especially if you're the type that sits there tries to figure out something you've never seen before, or if you're somebody who sits there and goes, "Yes, I've watched this a dozen times already, and I still love every minute of it." I mean, it could have been just as much of a midnight movie as lots of others that I actually went to midnight movies during my college years to go and see. Really strange stuff because it was Usually those were on campus. They were free. They were in one of the big journalism classrooms that had a enough seating for a lot of people and a movie screen and whatnot. And the university just went ahead and somebody rented these things and showed them, and you
Hey,
got to
Sweet.
see some weird stuff. I mean, they had Eraserhead one time. That one is bizarre. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but they did let's see, not only Rocky Horror Picture Show, but then I think the following night they did Phantom of the Paradise, which is one of my favorite midnight movies. And
Well, Georgia State had a theater on campus that was called the Lyceum, and eventually they changed it to Cinefest, which didn't sound nowhere near as cool.
oh,
And they charged, you got, I think the students either got to go in for free or a very, very low price. And of course, they sold some tickets to the general public, but for the
yeah,
most part, the general public didn't come in and watch it.
probably $1 or so with a student ID.
Yeah. And they had some pretty cool films in there. Of course, Georgia State also had a film track and film major, so you could learn post production and all that stuff. So,
Oh yeah, Rich. That's yeah.
Mm.
I used to occasionally drive all the way to 90 miles to Atlanta to see that in the same theater that showed Rocky Horror Picture Show on Friday nights and Saturday nights at midnight and 2 a.m. or no 1 a.m. No 2 a.m. because they have two shows. The first one was at midnight. Um,
was that the Starlight Drive-In?
no, this was somewhere near the Alhambra.
Mm.
It's, I'd say it's on Peachtree Street, but then the running gag is which of the 57 streets named Peachtree was it?
Yeah,
Um,
because there's all sorts of streets that wanted to capitalize on the familiarity of Peachtree, and you got Peachtree Center Avenue, you got Peachtree
Mm-hmm.
Battles, and all this stuff, and it's like, good grief.
and saying it's the one that's 4 lanes wide. It doesn't narrow it down that much at all.
A little bit, not a lot.
Not a lot, no. I mean, Atlanta is full of places that's 4 lanes wide. You're lucky if there's 1 lane of traffic able to move in it.
Yeah,
Lord,
but I believe Nashville traffic's almost worse in places because
mm,
they don't have as many lanes to maneuver around in. Some places in Atlanta,
Knoxville
you got
used
7 lanes in one direction.
yeah, and they're either all moving at 70 miles an hour or they're all at a dead stop.
hmm,
There's not much in between.
Yeah,
And the worst part is the people that are in the fast lane over on the far left going, oh, there's my exit, and going across every lane
yep,
without a turn signal.
Yeah.
fun times.
Oh, it's heart attack city basically.
yeah.
You
There,
know,
there are people who are literally scared to get on Atlanta interstates.
I have started going the long way around Atlanta to keep from having to go through it.
That's how I feel anywhere on the interstate in Texas. Like we get to the Louisiana state line, I'm like, it's your turn.
Well, somebody told me if I ever went to Texas and got on the interstates, if it started raining, to slow down a lot.
Crawl.
Because he said here where you got a lot of sand and gravel in the pavement and asphalt, there because it's so plentiful, there's a lot more petroleum in it, so it gets slick really
slick.
quick.
Somebody told me at
Mhm.
one time it was slicker than greased owl shit on a hot tin roof. And true story.
The phrase I kind of fond of at times is slicker than whale shit in the depths of the ocean.
Oh. Yes, well, our culture level just went up.
We are very cultured. We don't know which culture, but
Yes, yes. Well, somewhere in between bacteria and Saturday Night Live.
Brought the Cajun. We just had to spice it up just a little bit.
Well, it's educational to a degree. Sometimes to the positive, and sometimes to the negative.
It's always nice to learn new metaphors. Let me tell you. If you're creative in the writing sense, then yeah, you sometimes these little sayings come in handy because you drop them into the mouth of your character and you give them more realism.
Yeah, I cracked a coworker up one day. He said, "How you doing?" I said, "Oh, somewhere between fairly decent and sort of shitty."
yep.
Covers a lot of territory, but it's accurate.
Yeah, well, I was being truthful. I don't think he expected that. He about fell out of his chair. He was laughing so hard.
Yeah, that sounds like my last Friday.
Oh,
Alright, I'm probably gonna bounce for the night. It's getting late for me.
I
all right.
understand,
Yeah,
but sure do appreciate you stopping by.
Anytime,
Yeah, of
please do
course.
join us whenever you've got a chance.
Yeah,
will.
wanted to make sure I stopped by for a little bit after the Stupid O'Clock show. So,
Appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure.
I'll be in the chat.
All right.
Good night.
Have
Okay.
a good
Good
night.
night. Night.
Oh, I had a good one there at work last week. There are a couple of the younger ladies sitting in the break room talking while they were having lunch, and one of them said to the other one something like, I really need to find a good boyfriend. And I just looked up. I just looked up from where I was fixing my lunch and fixing to put it in the microwave and go, "Sorry, I'm taken," and then walked over to the microwave. They broke up laughing.
Yeah.
They broke up laughing. The younger folks that have started working there are not used to the kind of deadpan one-liners that I perpetrate.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm finally comfortable enough with them to display my weird sense of humor.
Oh
That
yeah.
it
There's
works.
get surprised by me and some of the things I say.
Oh, I
'Cause-
have had a few take it as a personal challenge, and they just ask me all kinds of questions, thinking, "Oh, he's never going to answer this one," and I go, and I do, and they just go, "I can't believe you said that." I go, You haven't
Yeah, I
worked
know
with me
that
very
one.
long. You haven't worked with me very long yet. You ain't seen nothing yet." Oh,
I'm full of surprises.
But that's what makes it entertaining.
well,
That's
I've
right.
only got 18 months there, and I've been there for 45 years. I have no fucks left to give.
They probably ran out years ago.
Oh, and the
Well,
younger folks are not used to that. They just okay.
well, sometimes they need a perspective, if you will, and usually some that they've not been exposed to.
Yeah.
Well, I could definitely give them enough perspective to where they have to go to the optometrist and get a new prescription.
Well, Dan, you can't help it if they don't read.
Oh gosh.
Yep, and I've got a
That
wealth.
is,
I've got a wealth of classic television and movies to quote from that they have never experienced in their lives.
oh yeah.
You try quoting a Thin Man movie at somebody that just turned 20.
Mm. And it's been a while, but I had a coworker who told me she'd never watched Purple Rain.
Oh man.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And I'm like, are you serious? She's like, no, I've never watched it. And I'm like, okay. Prince would have had a field day because he probably would have been able to talk her into baptizing herself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka with no problem.
You know, about
Rich,
40%
Okay.
of 40% of that movie wound up as videos on MTV back when MTV actually showed
Mm-hmm.
music
Mhm.
videos.
But it
Try
was designed
explaining to
that way.
somebody that MTV used to play music videos. That's another thing I've run up
I
against.
know, right? Most people know it for like the reality crap.
Hmm Either that or wrestling.
Oh my gosh, did you see what Ace Bonnie just typed?
Rich, I completely agree. You can send them to school,
Boyfriend
but I can't make
material.
them think. Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Was it made with real Girl Scouts?
Oh, and like I said, this coworker moved on years ago, but we went out to lunch one time and he told this girl, said, hey, you believe in love at first sight or do I need to walk by again?
Oh, that one's sold.
Oh shit! I've
Oh,
never heard that one though. That's
really?
good.
It's
I've
like a
heard
standard one in the Netherlands.
But
Oh my god.
I was surprised he knew it because he was the younger one.
My favorite one
Oh,
is
there.
walking up to someone, sniffing them, and be like, "Ooh, you're dirty. Want to take a shower?"
Oh my god! Yep,
Mhm.
that's just ballsy.
Work though.
Yep.
It did work.
You'd be surprised. Sometimes things will work because they'll be like, all
They're so
right, he had
cheesy.
enough guts to ask it. Let's see what he does.
You know what? After a couple of beers, nobody cares.
Mhm. Oh, did you see Rich's comment?
Oh yeah. Sitting up at school, but you can't make them think. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they really shouldn't call
Oh,
MTV
they
MTV
haven't deserved
anymore.
to call it that in a long time.
Years.
Oh Lord,
No.
no.
But you know what's sad is the comeback for creativity in the music video is back. Like there are a lot of
Yeah.
bands out there putting together some phenomenal videos. MTV could come back and come back strong, but they'd rather do what the hell they're doing already. So YouTube's getting all the good music.
Yeah, I was about to
Because
say
they get
YouTube's
all.
getting all the good videos now.
Yes, and
The,
I'm
the
talking some
simple
creative
reason
stuff.
is MTV would have to pay the licensing fee. That would make it more expensive. So they're like, oh no, we're going to make our own reality TV because it's cheap to produce and makes a lot of cash because, 16-year-olds.
Yeah, they don't. In some ways, they're smarter. In some ways, they're dumber.
Yeah.
Hmm
No, they're just looking for the money.
Yeah, I'm
YouTube
talking
gets
about the
everything
youth.
anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about the youth, not the corporate greed's always been there.
Yeah.
It's probably a little
Oh yeah.
worse.
We'll suffer with that forever.
Oh, and I bought an archaic form of media today.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I bought a CD.
What are you going to
Dun,
play it on?
dun.
I bought the brand new Journey CD.
Oh,
Oh.
fancy.
15 songs that I look forward to listening to all of. I've already heard part of them because they've been given previews of it.
I think one of the most recent CDs I bought was Hollywood Vampires.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be pretty freaking awesome, actually. I need to bring it home from work because the boombox I've got at work has finally got enough dust clogging the system to where it's no longer stereo. It's only playing one side. So it's like listening to a Beatles song on an AM radio back in the day.
Got a
You only
question
get
for y'all.
half of it. Okay.
Do any of y'all like album oriented rock or AOR?
Yes.
Do you
Well,
know how many
there's
Yes
another
albums I've
band.
got?
There's another band coming out with a brand new album in a few more weeks called Generation Radio.
Okay.
It has former Chicago bass player Jason Schiff, the keyboard / piano player from Rascal Flatts, of all things. And before he rejoined Journey, it had Dean Castronovo, vocalist and drummer for Journey, in it.
All right.
I'm quickly gonna age myself to everyone. I only bought 3 CDs in my entire life.
You need to get the other 16 so you get the complete message from Doctor Who.
Oh my
Waving my
god.
cane,
Wow.
yelling, "Get off my lawn!" moment. I remember when videos were only played on NBC for 2 hours on Friday night after getting home from the skating rink. I can just about remember the name of that. Was that Night Flight
Friday night
or
videos.
Friday Night Videos? Okay, thank you. I know
And
several channels
Showtime
did
back
that.
in the day had little video clips that they would call Take 5, which I got to see Rod Stewart's Young Turks and the Pretenders back on the Chain Gang. I was a fan of the Rod Stewart song. I was not so much a fan of the song by the Pretenders. Now, there's other songs by them that I love, but that one was not a favorite.
Yeah.
You
Oh, and Ace
also
Bonnie
had
is still buying vinyl.
Night Tracks on TBS.
Mm-hmm.
Channel 5 had a video program on Friday nights that had Craig Ashwood, the Australian DJ from Q94 back in the day. And you also had MTV showing videos 24/7.
And VH1 came along.
Yep, that showed the older stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And then MTV went to reality television, and VH1 went to Behind the Music.
Behind the music. Oh my god.
24/7. I'm like, look, I like the show, but I want to. Oh, and let's not forget Bands Reunited, where Amr Halim ambushed the people, and there were a few bands that, because they were annoyed with the assault, they didn't get back together until recently. Extreme Anyone and a couple others. But we also got to see some that were pretty awesome, like A Flock of Seagulls, Berlin.
okay, I'll give you Berlin, but I can't see awesome with Flock of Seagulls. I saw some guys with weird haircuts with
Right.
fairly decent songs, but not something that would be jaw-droppingly awesome.
Ireland was good, and Photograph was okay, and Space Age Love Song was underrated, especially if you ever watched the movie Career Opportunities. That's the one where Jennifer Connelly's skating around Target after hours.
Oh, okay.
Back when she was truly beautiful, because she hadn't got it pounded in her head by Hollywood and producers that she needed to be skinny as all get out.
Mm-hmm.
I've hated that trend. I really have.
Yeah, because they were some very attractive women that were perfectly fine as they were,
that turned into walking skeletons because of Hollywood.
Mhm.
Jennifer Aniston used to be thick and hot, especially back when she first started on Mad Television
Hmm.
years and years
Okay.
ago.
Ace, I can't wait to see what she says.
No, he's right. I tried. I tried doing the flock of seagulls, but it won't stay.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. I was thinking moose and squirrel, but
Yeah, if you ever want to look up Flock of Seagulls, look up Space Age Love Song with from Career Opportunities. That's another one of those under the radar films that was thoroughly enjoyable.
and Ace, I don't see anything wrong with Oreo Speedwagon. They had some great stuff, and Styx did too
Yeah.
back in the
Yep.
day. Um, back in the day. Uh, oh heavens! Now I did. Um, one of the folks on my friends list is the lead guitar player for Bebop Deluxe. Used to be Bebop Deluxe. He's grown a little bit older now, and he's doing his own stuff and has explored several different musical avenues and still producing stuff to this day. Uh, his name is Bill Nelson,
Hmm.
one of the most awesome guitar players, and probably one of the most world class poets that I have ever run across. This guy can write lyrics that will make you just, I can't believe, no, those words fit together so beautifully, but nobody would ever have put them together that way before, sort of things. And he does that at the drop of a hat, basically.
Cool.
And oh Lord, uh, look up Bill Nelson, look up Bebop Deluxe. The music videos on YouTube for Bebop Deluxe are not of the highest quality, but we're talking about a band that was uh, putting out their uh, most of their catalog during the um, late '70s, early '80s.
Yeah, cool. Ace, it's cool that you're going to get to see a flock of seagulls, but there's only one original member left in the band, and that's the keyboard player, Mike Score. Um, REO Speedwagon and Styx, I've seen multiple times. I actually got to finally see Loverboy and Nelson, of all people,
Boy.
in the Ryman a few years ago.
Mhm. I would love to be able to see Alice Cooper before he finally retires.
Well, I told
Oh
you about a
yeah.
show he's got coming up.
I know, but I can't go. But it doesn't diminish the fact that I would love that opportunity if I ever got a chance to do it. Um, I
Well,
can't tell you how many of his damn albums I've got either. I mean, somewhere upwards of 50.
if you can take off from work the following Monday, I can make it happen.
I
Uh-oh.
can't take off from work. I'm having
You
to
already
train.
checked, huh?
I'm having to train people. I am essential personnel. I'm doing good
Oh,
not to get tapped for extra overtime.
I
They
hate
suck.
being needed. It's the worst.
Oh,
Yeah, being needed sucks ass.
oh,
It's always like, Mom! It's like, no.
the worst
No.
part of it was
Hmm.
back in February and March. They were going, well, we need you to do this extra stuff because we can't justify your job still existing. We're wanting to do away with your job. And I'm going, well, you know, corporate's been needing it for the last 5 years. That's why it was created. Then the union contract got signed, and there's a clause in the contract that says they can't do away with my job until I retire because I've got 45 years seniority.
Nice.
Well,
Nice.
the alternative would have been that they give me a $20,000 a year raise and put me back on shift.
Ooh.
That's in the contract.
Ooh.
They have to put me back on the job I came from before I got the daytime only job, which is 2 pay grades higher. Plus, I would have unlimited access to all the overtime I could endure. And believe me, if they piss me off enough to put me back on shift, I know and I've only got a year and a half left. I would milk the overtime for all it's worth, and there are at least 7 different positions that I could sign up for overtime for.
Mm-hmm.
I am
Mhm.
fully qualified, and all I got to do is put my name on the line. They have somebody taking a vacation. That one's mine. And they'd have to pay me time and a half of that 2 pay grades higher,
Mm-hmm.
no matter
Oh
what the pay
yeah.
grade of the job was. Yeah, no matter what the pay grade of the job I would be doing overtime on, it would be time and a half of the pay grade that I was stuck with. So if they want to, yeah, go ahead. Um, Punish me by giving me 20,000 extra dollars a year.
Don't mind if I do.
Serious. Yeah, really. I'm sure just don't throw me in that briar patch, okay?
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
And here now they've come up with all this stuff that corporate wants and they want me to do it. I'm going, "Oh, it's too bad this didn't happen back in March when were having trouble justifying my job." My
Mhm.
supervisor just looked at me and goes, "Shit, he knows."
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, I always knew it was somebody in corporate that thought that they would be saving money by kicking me out of or doing away with the job. It wouldn't reduce the head count, and it
Mhm.
would not reduce the payroll at all. So they didn't think it through. Um, they're too used to thinking they could do away with the job in management and reduce the head count, reduce the payroll. I'm not management. I'm
Yeah.
labor, and I'm union. So
Mm.
they don't think of these things. They just come up with it looks good on paper. It don't work, but yeah, it looks good on paper. I actually had to quit posting about work stuff on Facebook because there
You
were
got a nasty
disgruntled
going.
there were disgruntled parties reporting me to management.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm just being
You don't need
bluntly
to. You just need
I'm
to
just
edit your
being
friends
bluntly
list.
honest and going, there's some folks out here that really ought not be here because they're not doing their job, and a
Hmm.
lot of people are having to do their job for them, and all of a sudden, I'm getting flack from on high about going, "Well, these other hourly workers you've been hiring lately ain't got a work ethic at
Yeah.
all."
Yeah, I know all
So,
too well.
and my wife is going, "That place is going to fall apart when you retire," and I'm going,
Let
"It
it.
fell apart years ago." I'm, I'm just waiting for the merry-go-round to slow down enough for me to jump off without getting hurt.
Yeah. And counting the days down
Hmm.
with glee.
Less than 416 work days, which does not count weekends, it does not count holidays, and it does not count vacation days. So that is actually Monday through Friday, less than 416. Because that was
Man,
like 2 weeks ago, and I don't remember the exact number today because I haven't looked at my spreadsheet that has the countdown clock on it. And yes, I do have a functioning countdown clock in Excel. Yes, I play with Excel for fun. I'm dyslexic. I do algebra for fun. Um, I
mine's probably over 14,000 and whatever.
yeah.
I'm not
Well,
even gonna start.
hey, there was one day when somebody asked me, "Well, how many seconds is it?" And I go, "Give me about 5 minutes," and I actually did the calculations on the spreadsheet, so it gave me days, hours, minutes, seconds. I never look at it, but somebody prompted me to do the math. Only have to do it once. The computer does it the rest of the time for me.
That's good.
I never could pass basic math classes, and now I do algebra for fun.
Well, basic math and algebra are two whole different things.
No, they're not.
The basics,
No,
yes, but they're a whole different mindset to a lot of people.
well, yeah, I can get that. I can get that. But basically, algebra is just basic math with
With letters involved.
functions. With
Yeah.
functions added. Yeah, and I had that shit back in elementary school. They had these little workbooks that they would give us, and I go, okay, you want us to do the same problem, but you've got these numbers to start with, but we got it. It's all the same problem. We just instead of using this, we use this. And I'm going, that's easy.
Yeah.
And this was before calculators were invented, so
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost before abacuses were invented, but
I saw a post. Somebody posted something about however many years out of high school. I think it was like 30 or 40 something, and then I still haven't used algebra.
yeah, yeah. And unfortunately, you use algebra all the time and never know it.
Yeah.
You ever look at a car while you're on the on ramp and try and figure out how fast it's going and how fast you need to be going to keep from getting hit? It's
Mhm.
algebra. You don't use any paper or a pencil, but that's algebra. You're doing it in your head.
Yeah. Well, I refer to that as spatial distribution, which is geography.
Okay, yeah. Oh, uh, and relative velocities. That's another good one. I get a lot of work out of that being a science fiction writer. I notice what people do subconsciously in their day-to-day activities. It's no different than catching a softball or playing frisbee. And there's this whole level of math that's going on in your head, and you never think about it because it's tied to your reflexes. It's not
Yeah.
tied to a piece of paper and a grade and a
Mhm.
class. It's how you function in life. Can I get to that parking space before Karen over here cuts me off?
Always the Karens.
I
Hey,
had to do that earlier.
it's become a good stereotype. Well, not a good stereotype, but a good name to use for uh, evoking an image.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot the CD wasn't the only thing I purchased today. I
Oh
was,
Lord, have you got any money left?
I came out of McKay's pretty good.
Mm.
Um, I got 2 books and a complete series that was only one season long for under $17.
Not bad.
Oh, I got some bad news.
Uh-oh.
My wife discovered the bottle of Statesman.
Oh no. She
She
loved it too, didn't she?
She she mixes it's bourbon. She mixes it with water
Mm-hmm.
till it's something that won't knock her on her butt,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll
Oh
she'll
God.
have she'll have maybe one, maybe two, and then go to bed and sleep the sleep of the blessed, basically. And
Nita, if you're not aware of it, it's 95 proof. It's made by
Ooh.
Old Forester, and it was a direct tie-in to the Kingsman, the Golden Circle. because they have American cousins that are
Mhm.
not tailors. They make bourbon,
Well then,
And
and
I
it is
it
love
is
that movie.
smooth. Now,
it is so
when we went to LibertyCon, I wanted just a pint of something, so I wound up with. She got a pint of uh, I forget which. Jameson's Irish whiskey,
Mm.
and I got a pound of Wild Turkey 101, and I took 2 cases of beer, and I came back with about 10 beers.
Yeah.
plus plus the free bar at the con.
yeah.
We had
Oh
a
yeah.
I had a good time. I don't know about anybody else at the convention, but I had a good time.
I I enjoyed it. It was
Um,
nice to see people I hadn't seen in a long time.
golly, the images, the description of this drink gives me in my head are just not okay, people.
Oh, did you look it up?
I did. And first, the aroma: devil's food, clove, oak spice with an undercurrent of raw vanilla. Okay, I can get into that. But then when it comes to taste, buttery leather is quickly dominated by a bold flash of pepper. That is some kinky shit in my head.
Oh, it is so smooth, but there's just a hint of bite at the end.
And
I'm,
I wouldn't describe it in any of those terms.
Well, that's how they describe it.
Yeah, I know, but they're trying to
Buttery
sell
leather
it.
is
But
quickly
Yeah.
dominated by a bold flash of pepper, cinnamon bark, and sharp citrus.
yes, yes, the boldly dominated is where it got you, didn't it?
It
Yeah.
did.
I'm 2.5
It
weeks away from a Renaissance fair, and they know me there as Captain Shitfaced.
Oh
Hmm.
gosh.
I walk onto that camping with 2 boxes filled with mead, and they're like, "Okay, you can leave. We'll take off your belt with weapons, so you can enter the camping because you're not gonna drop those boxes."
mm,
And they're gone by the end of the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you'd be amazed at how popular you get when you bring a large supply of anything
Oh
uh,
no, it's all meat.
adult beverage like. But
yeah.
oh yeah,
There's a handful of friends that can go into my stash,
Mm,
but they all know that I get the first sip.
mm.
And usually the last one too.
mm,
Nita, it's a little bit pricey. The Statesman is. It's around the low 60s for a bottle.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
looking at right now.
hmm
it is so good.
Now, Lindsay
I
also.
ha- I have to I have to pace myself not to drink any, but just a little here and there. And
Yeah.
when I say here and there, I mean I go weeks without touching it.
Oh, this one even describes the finish: intense spice and eucalyptus, which fade into orange cream and caramel.
No, it
That's a
tastes
lot
like
of fucking
bourbon.
flavors.
It
It's
tastes like
bourbon.
bourbon. It doesn't taste like eucalyptus and
Yeah.
poppies and rainbows and unicorn farts or whatever else they want to put in the ad. It
Now
tastes like bourbon, but it's really good bourbon.
there is
Buttery leather is what gets me. It's like, who the fuck buttered leather and sucked on it to tell us this?
no, but that doesn't
Mm,
I
there
mean,
is
ever
a
overcooked a steak?
there's a group that tests bourbon and they went to Old Forester to try their stuff. They actually compared the Statesman to some of their other bourbons. They said there are some similarities, strong similarities between it and their birthday bourbons, if you've ever tried one of their birthday bourbons. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I actually took the
oh,
time to watch the video because I was interested. I actually
and it,
have some of their other bourbons. I just haven't tried it yet.
Right.
because I'm saving it for occasions when I really could
special.
use some. Yeah. Special, or I have a few certain select friends around that I don't mind sharing with. So,
Well, I pick it up at the same place that carries this Christmas wine that Lindsay has been quite fond of since her childhood. Because they would give her something watered down, but
Mhm.
it's
mm,
a ginger wine.
Yeah, it's probably glue wine, something of the likes.
mm,
Um, it's a seasonal thing, but
Yeah.
they keep some in stock, and I keep going. You do know my wife is British, right? This is not going to last long.
mm.
I think she's got one bottle left of what I bought for well, it might have been right around Christmas. But she does not drink to excess. It's like an aperitif. It's like just a couple a day at when she's feeling up for it, or she might not touch it for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know. Um, she reminded me today. I have a bottle of Irish Mist that I have not even opened,
Ooh.
and I just remembered that, and I'm going. I've been sitting here taking a leave for this pain, and I've got a bottle of Irish Mist. What is wrong with this picture?
You had to go to work the next day.
No,
Hmm.
tomorrow's Sunday. I don't have to go to work
Oh,
tomorrow.
yeah. Well, I was thinking through the week.
Mm. Nope. Now that bottle's probably been sitting there for a month, and if I haven't opened it, it's because I forgot I bought it. Um,
I got
Irish
a
Mist
bottle
is
that's
what.
been sitting for 6 months. Actually,
Oh,
more than that.
I
I
used to
don't
make.
know if I could keep a bottle of alcohol in my house that long, which I don't drink anymore. But before, I don't. I think the oldest a bottle ever got was maybe 6 hours after purchase.
Yeah, I can relate.
I used to make a type of spiced vodka called Krupnik, and I would make it in a 5-gallon glass jar. And it had to age about a year before it got really, really good. I mean, you could drink it immediately, but it had to soak up the spices and the dried fruit
Yeah.
and everything else that was in it. And it started getting good about a year, and then if you had the willpower to let it sit for as long as possible, it only got better every day. Now, I gave a pint or no, I gave a half gallon to a friend of mine that moved to Atlanta, and he gave me back. It was about 3/4 of that half gallon, but he had it sitting on his shelf in the cabinet for about 5 years at that time.
Wow.
That was some of the smoothest stuff I had
Mm.
ever passed my lips. I swear. If if I had not made it myself, I would not believe that it was going to be that good. And I learned the recipe from a couple of girls back in my college days. I was dating one, and her roommate was there as well, and they made up this. They didn't make it up; they researched it. It was historical. It's an old Russian recipe for spiced vodka,
Mm.
and uh, the girl I was dating put a lot of cloves in it, which
Mhm.
I decided I was not going to do.
That gets
Mm.
Um,
overpowering.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
especially a
and
lot.
I put in a lot more diced up vanilla beans, and instead of using just honey like you would if you were making mead, I added the honey, and then I added um, the dark chocolate caramels and some regular caramels with
Ooh.
all of everything else. And it, excuse me, not only did the flavor improve, but it got the coloration
Mm.
just
Mm.
exactly right. And if you take the honey and the spices and the caramel and everything else, and you mix it with an Irish whiskey instead of vodka, I accidentally discovered how to make my own Irish mist. Dude, that 5 gallon jug, let me tell you, it was a temptation every day of my life. And mm, once it had a couple of years on it, and not only in the 5 gallon jug, but in individual bottles, you could put it in, half gallon, an old vodka bottle or whatever, just the plastic things. As long as you manage to put some of the spices in there, and so it would keep on soaking up the different flavors. It was outstanding. I mean, absolutely outstanding. This could have been back in the day if I had my wits about me and bottled and got a license to sell this stuff. I probably would not have had to have a mortgage for my house. I would have had enough for the ready to be able to just go, hey, here's a, a stack of money, give me the house. Now there's a company that actually makes it commercially. It's not as good as mine, but it's pretty good. And on that note, I think I'm going to go get a little bit because believe me, I can't tell if this is stuff left over from the now I can't even remember the name of the damn disease. Um, Half a century aftermath of chickenpox,
Shingles.
shingles. Thank you. Yeah, because I had an outbreak of that for the first time in my life here um, early this year, and
Ooh.
yep, it's gone. But evidently there is nerve damage that is
Mm.
forever, or
Yeah.
it could be just simple sciatica because it's the same damn nerve that's bothering me.
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
both suck.
yeah. You know your life sucks when you have to stand up all the time, and if you sit down, it freaking hurts.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, BC powders. Yes, I'll take a dozen, please. Um, I'll
I'm on
be
it. My
right
back's killing
back.
me being in this damn chair all day.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I've got
Uh,
to get a new chair.
I'm just going to turn the microphone off, and I will be.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, Nita,
Mm.
Lava Quarter 5 arrived in America finally. It
Mm.
was stuck in customs for like 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why so long?
Um, because customs.
Well, we had a Barney the dinosaur stuck in customs till my kid didn't give a fuck about Barney anymore. No, true
Oof.
story.
Wow.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No,
That's
it's.
saying something.
Yeah,
No,
it
I
had to
hope
have
the
been
reading side
stuck.
is going to be faster.
I think I'm going for 2 of these fuckers because my head is like and my back. But yeah, we ordered a Barney for my daughter's 3rd birthday. A Barney, a BJ, and a Baby Bop. And they were from different locations because my kids were a little bit after the real rise of Barney, but one of them just was like in love. And so let's see, the Baby Bop came through, or no, the BJ came through, the character that she liked the least. But then Barney and Baby Bop took so long in customs, we forgot they even existed, and they showed up one day when she was like
Wow.
7 or 8 years old and didn't give a rat's ass about Marnie anymore.
Wow.
We were just like, what the fuck? It was crazy, man. It was like, holy crap. And kids
5 years?
it was years later. It was about 4.5 years.
Good
Wow.
grief.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
this was
no.
before they even talked about supply chain issues, wasn't it?
Mhm.
And this was 10 years ago. It showed up and it was like, really?
That's well in time. Like this is the sending into critical blast is just awful. For the most part, like I get maybe a week, but because it wasn't just books, it took longer. I think it's the
Yeah,
place.
but RJ's so good with the distribution for you overseas guys.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna find anybody better.
No.
Everything comes packaged nicely. He's on his A game.
Oh, look at that cutie.
And next time he sends me something, he needs to send me a Critical Blast sticker that's not on a box.
I know, right?
Yeah, this is
Give me a pin so I can put it on my hat, pirate hat.
It's be something cool, RJ.
He made the Life on Coral pins for issue 4, right? And he sent me the rest of them, and I'm like, dude, like on one hand that's really cool, on the other I had prefixed everything so people got what they wanted.
Right.
And he just stuck them on separately. And then I went, dude, I'd already fulfilled for Europe. Like, this is unfair to them. I'm like, yeah, well, it was on sale on Sticker Mule. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, she decided she wanted some attention, so.
Mine never want attention. Mine are assholes. They come in here and they look at me, they meow and they leave. Or they cry until I open the door. It's like,
Yeah, I got those too.
Bill, I'm gone a good bit, so they're usually happy to see me when I return. So
well, I'm here all the fucking time, so they're just like, you again.
Yeah, that's why they're like that. If you weren't, it'd be the other way around.
Yeah, mine
I
is
know.
in love with me. She cannot let me go, whatever I do. And
When we went to MegaCon, when we came back, they were happy to see us.
Yeah.
But the novelty wore off after about 24 hours.
Oh no, she will be happy if I'm gone for 5 minutes or 12 hours. She needs me.
Mm-hmm.
Mine will actually look at me like, "Oh, you're back!" Like you come in from the grocery store, like, "Oh," and just keep walking. It's like, okay.
Okay then.
Well, my boy,
sleep tonight.
Cheers. Damn right. Don't fall asleep while streaming again, please.
Oh, do.
Is that the Irish Mist?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine honey mead made with Irish whiskey instead of just letting the honey ferment.
Oh yeah. I'm looking forward to 2.5 weeks from now because I'm gonna be so drunk on cherry mead. That is gonna be my the stuff that will make a layer on top of the coffee that I use in the morning.
Oh yes.
Well, Mike, you make at least 3 people I know of that know how to make mead.
Oh no, I don't make it. I get it at Renaissance fairs.
Oh, okay.
Because they're a German company, and Germans know how to make mead, and they know how to make beer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, they only know how to make Pilsner, which is the worst type of beer.
Yeah, they've been doing it for centuries, so they've
Mike,
figured it out.
Did you ever show Nita that piece that of Life of Core that I did the music for? The little intro snippet.
I think I did. Pretty sure I did. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's
I
nodding
heard
her
you
head.
say-
Um,
I'm out of
But-
tab right now because I'm like trying. We're kind of doing a light rebrand on everything and trying to get all the links syncing up again, and such a
Yeah.
pain in the butt.
no, I'm
I
I'm
understand.
actually going to properly finish that intro once, I'm no longer handicapped with a Wacom Bamboo. Which, because I'm working full time again, I should be able to afford at the end of August.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can actually go into animation. I need voice acting. I need to be able to time things. But, yeah, I'm busy. You guys are busy, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a slow going thing anyway. But yeah, it's I'm looking forward to getting more work done on it.
The main thing is to keep plugging away.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
no, exactly.
Oh, and
And
if you've got a character that my voice would be good for, let me know. I can always tell my wife, please, I'm working, and close the door.
If I ever do an episode, if I ever do an episode for Love on Korra 3, I would love you to do Octas, the Rocky dude.
Okay.
Mm.
Hold on, let me grab him so you can see what I'm talking about.
I think Nita liked this idea.
Yeah, I think it works.
There we go. This guy.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
This is a Silver Surfer homage, Silver Surfer 1,
I can do that.
by Daniel HDR. But, yeah, he would work.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, people were stuck between this one, 4, and 5. And then I got Nita to do Toy Fun. I got Daphne Leitch to do Oxton. And Nick Tucker to do Benville, who is way older, losing his memory. And I was just, Nick, you're perfect.
Oh my god, he
Really?
is. Poor Nick. Poor Nick.
Typecasting.
No, seriously, hold on. Let me. Where is it? There we go.
Woohoo!
I'm not enjoying this. I think I'm enjoying this. I'm not even sure I'll remember this. You can literally hear it in their voices. So it's
I can see
Daphne
him
for the
doing
first, Nita for the middle one, and then Nick Tucker for the last one. It would work.
Oh,
Oh,
I apologize for
Oh.
yawning so much, people.
Don't worry, I'm barely up and I'm already. Yeah, no,
Oh,
Nick is
Nick
well.
is awesome.
Nick rocks.
yes, he is. Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
I have been up since before 8 o'clock this morning.
Oh damn.
And it's 25 now, so
It's
well, I'm out.
2:25 my time.
yep. Oh, glorious
Yep.
time zones.
Unfortunately, I'm not quite as young as I used to be. But,
Oh. I got up this morning going, damn, it's dark. What time is it? 10:25.
Whoops.
Well, it's 2:25 in here and 1:25 out there.
I'm not
Yeah.
used to getting up before noon on Saturday, but evidently because of the power outage, I had to leave the green room early last night and went to sleep. And
Well, I tried to wake up and I was awake, but I went down the YouTube rabbit hole and there's this young couple that reacts to music that I grew up listening to, so it's fun to see them. It's
is
like
that,
I get to enjoy it for the first time again.
is that the Rob Squad reactions?
Yes.
I love those folks. I've been with them since the very beginning. and I don't often give them uh, tips about things that they might want to explore. I used to quite
Yeah.
often, but they pretty much outgrown me. So
Yeah.
no, no,
Well,
they've dived deep into some of the things that I suggested, and not only me, but lots and lots of other people as well,
yeah.
and they've come quite a long way.
Now I've left a few comments of people didn't stuff that I knew very well that I'm like, well, they ought to know this. I'm like, well, I look at scroll through the comments. I'm like, none of them mentioned this. I'm like, what the heck? I'll go ahead and leave a
Hey,
comment.
really, drop it in.
Yeah.
Um, but they're one of my favorite things to watch, and I try not to do too much on YouTube because it's like I said, it's a rabbit hole. If I
It
get
is.
started,
It
I
is.
stay on it too long,
Hmm.
and I have other stuff to do. So that's why I try and catch any shows that y'all broadcast on Facebook because it's a lot easier to back out. Like, yeah, I've been on it
Yeah.
long enough, or I'm tired of seeing all this. So
Yep,
No.
I've got
it's better for my
subscriptions
time
to
management.
like almost a dozen different uh, folks that do canal boat videos over in England. Because
Mm.
I was researching stuff for background for a character I was writing, and I thought, wouldn't it be neat if he lived on a canal boat? And then I started looking at these videos, and I got sucked into it. Believe me, if I could drop everything and move to England and buy my own damn canal boat, y'all would never hear of me again except for doing my own videos, and it would give me plenty of time to sit there and write my own stories. So my books and some entertaining, hopefully entertaining videos would be my total output. I mean, I'd drop everything except there's a lot of stuff that I would miss moving away from the U.S.,
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
LibertyCon, Hallowcon, things like
yeah,
that. Um, you know, it's not logistically feasible, and plus,
yeah,
I'm getting to retirement age, so and that's not a good time to be having to work canal locks and trying to tow around a
mhm,
40-ton iron boat with your hands on a towpath. All you got is a rope trying to
mhm,
pull this thing in so you can anchor it up, tie it off to the bank, so
yeah.
you can
Rest for the
nod
evening.
off for the night. Yeah, yeah, for the night. For some of them are overnight, some of them are 48 hours, some of them are 2 weeks, and some of them are. Hey, it don't matter. Nobody's going to check.
Oh, I will tell you another fun reaction. Uh, one is No Life Shack. Joe turned me on to it.
Hmm.
He's
Yes,
entertaining to watch.
I'm familiar with him as well. Two college students. That's another good one.
Hmm. And Rebecca Vocal Athlete is entertaining to watch because she's got that British accent
Hmm. Oh,
and she's very hot too.
I will tell you one that is not a reaction video. It's the lady of the library.
Mm.
Um, imagine Thessaly with a baritone voice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Oh,
I'm just going. Holy! And people have accused her of adopting a fake accent, and she goes, "No, this is exactly the way people sound where I was raised in England. I just have a deep voice for a woman."
well, I wish we could get Thessaly to Hallowcon.
One of my favorites right now is the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel because I love outdoor videos.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this dad who just takes his little boys along for all kinds of fishing and outdoor trips and survival trips. And it's like, oh my God, goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if any of you enjoy fishing, but my oldest boy is making fishing lures now as one of his
Oh,
side jobs. He's got he's got a business where he paints and pressure washes houses and whatnot. He did a big painting job for the church he goes to, but he's found out how much fun it is to make his own fishing lures and started
cool.
selling them, and they are going like hotcakes. Um,
Mm.
he and his wife were out earlier today, and it's like he just tossed one of his in the lake, and she tossed another one in. Within moments, both of them had a hit.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's almost like cheating, but the boy's got some skills here. He's learned.
Well, that's good.
Well, and he's no longer just listening to Grateful Dead anymore. He's actually doing stuff. So
Yeah.
No, I've been sea fishing a couple of times, which I really enjoyed, but I was like 12. I really want to do that one again. Just do a charter.
oh
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, like I just never my dad wasn't into it, and my mom definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I should really go and do more fishing because it's fun. It's
It
it's nice
is.
and relaxing. Yeah.
Oh Lord, yeah. I was raised going out on a little teeny tiny boat in a lake up in East Tennessee. I mean, we'd be out there pulling the boat out of the mooring at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
the steam coming off the water as the sun comes up. I mean,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
all these just brilliant green Tennessee forests around the edges is just absolutely beautiful. And my dad always complained that as soon as I caught a fish, I wanted to go home. It's like,
Shoot.
oh, I got one. Now we can go home.
No, as
I got
soon
a
as I
Tom. I
learned,
got a Tom Swift Jr. book waiting. Um,
no, that was
no.
my bag because I learned that I could walk off into the woods. Nobody would question what I was doing and they'd leave me alone.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
fishing quickly became one of my favorite things to do.
I just discovered today. Lindsay said she always wanted to go camping, and I'm
Hmm.
going, darling. You do know I used to do that for fun back in the day, but now I'm a little bit too old to carry a 60-pound camping pack down into Tallulah Gorge, 1,100 feet down to the
Yeah.
river
Mm,
and stay for the weekend. At I used to do that. Me and several friends, and unfortunately, um, I'm the last one left.
Oh.
Hmm.
They passed away due to tragic accidents. So my old crew, I'm it. I'm the last man standing, basically. Um,
mm.
no
That's
pun
a shame,
intended.
dude.
I
Yeah.
know, I know. I miss them. I miss them quite a lot. Always have. And they were way too young to go. It's like I said, tragic accident. One fellow, he it's his birthday. He was in a hurry to get home and pulled out from a stop sign entirely too quickly. I mean, he
Mm.
did stop, but he pulled out entirely too quickly. His car got hit by a transfer truck.
Oh, yeah, that'll do
Uh,
the trick.
n-
Oh man.
One of the other fellows, he had gone through a really tough divorce and was living in a mobile home and had no heat, and had candles all around the
Oh
trailer,
no.
tried to keep it warm,
Mm.
caught on fire,
Oh no.
and he didn't make it out.
Oh
Uh,
my god.
the fourth musketeer had an aneurysm, and they, I'm 10, 20 years older than all three of them, so I'm going, why did it,
Mhm.
with all the stupid shit I've done in my life, why am I still the last one here?
Mhm.
These guys deserve better, but the universe is
Strange.
lawful but um, uncaring.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yep.
So it's not you're better, you're better, you're better. No, it's hey, um, these things happen.
Mhm.
Accidents are one of the hardest things to try and explain to anybody. Really, it's like you can do everything right, and something totally out of your control happens.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's weird. But then I've crossed I don't know how many timelines to still be where I am right now. There's
Hmm.
so many times I've had so many accidents that should have killed me and probably did, but I jumped timelines and now I'm here or still here. And try to explain that to a shrink, let me tell you.
I
Mhm.
did try to explain it to them, and they gave me medicine for it.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't need.
I
Yeah.
was like, I
I
was
don't.
like, it was head on. I saw it, and then it was like I was through the truck, and the next thing I know, I'm in the minivan with my kids.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yep. Yep. Um,
True story.
Yeah. No,
I
I
know. I
believe you.
know. I know. Uh, we can go through that for. Let's do that privately. It's not something I want to put on
Yeah.
YouTube.
No.
So um, that is one of the things that I do believe lets me write these alternate universe time travel stories so well is because I actually believe it is not only possible, but it happens every day, every minute of every day to everybody, and nobody notices because usually the timeline they jump to is not that much different from the one they left.
It was very, very,
Mhm.
very, 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 very similar. So
Hmm.
similar that I remember only that moment of impact
Hmm.
that never happened, but everything else remained the same. But I remember looking in a rearview mirror and thinking, "This is the last time I see my kids," because there was nothing else I could do.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I was driving, and it was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Um.
It's kind of like sliders, but real. And there's no portal to jump through.
No,
It just okay.
it was the portal was going through the front end of the semi. Like,
Yeah.
Here is my theory of alternate timeline and um, being able to walk from one to another. Now, given an infinite universe, there are an infinite number of universes to each side, and they are no more different from one from another than maybe one cork spinning in a different direction in one grain of sand
Yep.
in the entire universe, and they're so close together. We walk from one to another day by day by day, back and forth, and never notice because everything is almost exactly the same. But sometimes you get far enough away from where you started that there is a noticeable difference. and people think you're crazy if you point it out. For them, what you remember never happened. For
Mhm.
you, what they remember is not what happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
It, you ever lose your car keys and find them in a place that you knew for damn sure you had already looked
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
and they weren't there, but then all of a sudden they were?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Cross timelines. It's the simplest explanation I can come up with. I mean, it's not like I can't see something sitting right there on the arm of the couch that I looked at 50 times
Mm-hmm.
while I tore up the house trying to find. I even looked in the freezer, but no, car keys weren't in there. They were where they weren't an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
Or there have been many times when I have gone to work. Well, many, less than 6, that I have gone to work, and my locker was one locker to the left or one locker to the right of where it was the day before.
Hmm.
Hmm.
My padlock on it, open with my combination, different number on the door, all my shit inside was not in the same place.
Hmm.
And um, I'm one of those folks that ever since I had been wearing glasses, I got used to walking around in my apartment once I moved out from mom and dad's. Whatever house I was living in, I got used to walking around in the dark. Just touch the wall. I know where
Mm-hmm.
the door is. This, that, and the other. I know where things are supposed to be.
Right.
So I go in. Locker moved. Everything's still in it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the same one. Now, most of the times this happened was when there was some life-threatening event that I survived
Mhm.
through some miracle, came out totally unscathed through some miracle. But background stuff was slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
So either we are able to cross from one very, very close timeline to another without thinking about it, or traumatic events can toss you sideways a little bit further where there is a noticeable difference, but it still might be so barely noticeable. Everything else is the same as far as you know, except for that cork spinning backwards on that beach in you know Daytona that you don't even see. Um, all I know is I don't think I'm crazy. I don't think there's anything wrong with my memory. I just think that I've noticed differences that other people would not blink twice, would not consider as being a difference. It's just this is that, this is that, this is the way it's always been. Well, wait a minute, that wasn't always that. The Mandela effect, basically,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
writ very, very small. And that is my theory of multiple universes. You ain't got to have a TARDIS to do it. You just go, okay, I think I fucked up yesterday because my locker's over here.
Mm-hmm. Now, for me, I have a lot of premonitive dreams
Hmm.
where part of my dream is just like, have I done this before? And then I wake up And then a couple of weeks later, I'm in that exact moment. I'm like, wait, what?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
It's getting better because I don't dream as vividly as I used to as a kid, but man. And then a couple of weeks ago, I nearly killed myself and a colleague with a washing machine. So
Those are kind of large
those will
to
do
pick
it.
up and those are kind of large to pick up and hit somebody with. I'm hoping it was an accident, not something you
No, we
planned
were,
ahead.
for some reason, people always want the washing machines in the attic in the Netherlands.
In
We
the
are
attic?
Okay.
known.
I'd want that on the ground floor.
Yeah, no, exactly. We do too. Trust me. As movers, we do too. Mila, there
As a
is no more,
homeowner, I
there
would.
is no heavier. They say there is no better. No, there is no heavier. These things are 120 kilos or 250 pounds.
Oh, thank God you
Absolutely
translated
insane.
that.
Yes. The newest models don't have a ridge on the back. So you have nothing
Oh,
to
you've got
hold.
no handhold.
Oh shit!
You only have a metal strip that you can click a handle into. Those things, the people that place them take them out again and take them along because they don't deliver, like they're not standard to go with the thing. So we were taking these down the staircase. The guy was holding it, at the bottom. I was at the top, and we were coming right down to the end of the staircase, and you instantly, like, the guy really just has to push it up for it to go horizontal, on its back, so I can have a grip again. That went too late. Literally, like, down my entire right hand, there was just a straight cut.
Oh,
And if I
dear.
hadn't said I was slipping, we would have broken 4 legs right there and then in multiple places. And probably gone through the roof.
Why would the attic be considered a good place for one of the appliances most likely to spring a leak?
Because we all have water locks on them. The most they
Mm.
will leak is 6 liters or 1.5 gallons.
Huh.
And in
That's fancy.
Victorian era architecture, the bathroom was up close to the attic, if not in the attic,
Mm-hmm.
so
It's starting to
that
get less popular,
Mhm.
but
Yep, it's a European thing. I understand that.
It's a European thing.
it is. No, it is. Legit.
I went to school to be an architect. I can relate. I mean,
Why
there are
the hell?
there are conventions because the houses are narrow and tall,
Yeah.
Mm.
and there's another house just on the other side of that wall, and there's another house on the other side of the opposite wall, and they're all. It's like the row houses basically
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
nowadays.
Okay, so let me give you a description of the average house that we have to move. You walk into the front door, to your left or right, you have a door to the living room, staircase going up, sometimes, half a circle, sometimes straight, usually half a circle because it's safe space.
And they're steep as shit.
They're steep as shit, yes, especially if they're straight. And either you have it one floor and a very narrow staircase to a closed off attic, or you have, another staircase going up another floor, or you just have the one floor. Usually, washing machines are in the bathroom, in the showers. So if they leak, they have a place to drain to, which makes sense too. But that means everything is upstairs. So with that, and then upstairs you have bedrooms, the bathroom, toilet downstairs, usually separate as well, which I love. because you don't want to sit in someone's stink. But yeah, it makes for small housing. Like, we don't have the space you guys have. We don't
This
have
is
miles
true.
and miles of miles and miles and miles.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's narrow, it's small, it's annoying. Half the closets that we have to move have to be taken apart, which is
What?
awful unless we have a big window that we just push them through and there's two people at the bottom can grab it. It's no fun. But yeah, that's how the Netherlands works. We love apartments. They're easy.
Mm-hmm. Nita, have you ever been to Pittsburgh?
No.
Okay. In Pittsburgh, there is a apartment building style which is very close to what Mike Jimmy is describing. It's little bitty, teeny, tiny, thin houses right next to each other. You know, just apartments basically, but there's multiple floors and it's skinny.
Yeah.
Row houses.
Yeah, row
Row
houses. You've
houses,
got
Yeah.
yeah, you've got them right next to each other, and until you get to the end of the building, which is usually the end of the block. The entire block is taken up with these row
Yeah,
houses.
you usually get like 20 feet at most, the 20 feet wide at most, and then
Mhm.
40, 50 feet deep,
Yeah.
and then one or two levels
that
above
is
it.
insane to me.
Yeah, that's
I
that's
I'll take
European housing.
my ranch style layout any day.
I have been to the Sherlock Holmes Museum in London on Baker Street, and it is a typical London row house, and it is 4 stories and an attic,
Yeah,
and it is just tiny wide, and it's not that damn deep.
So they're tall trailers.
yeah, essentially.
Exactly. Yep.
And
Tall
if you're
trailers
lucky,
with a
you have,
foundation.
and if you're
It's
lucky,
all
you've got 10 feet of yard behind it.
yeah, and you, if you're smart, you build a bar back there or some kind of thing that, or plant a garden,
Yeah,
well, how whatever floats your boat, and that's and your neighbors can look over the fence and judge you by the quality of your yard mowing or gardening or
hmm
how many people
from the
show up
second
in your bar
floor.
every night. Yeah. So
Yeah, ranch houses are very efficient, and I like
in
them.
in the Sherlock Holmes Museum, the bathroom is right up underneath the attic.
Yeah,
And they did it that way so that in the early days of flush toilets, gravity would assist.
Oh yes, with
Mm,
velocity.
Yes.
Get it out of there. Get that
Hmm.
inertia going, right? Get that
hmm
Right.
shit out of here.
Exactly. And they didn't have showers. They had a bathtub.
yeah,
If you were wealthy. If you
yeah.
weren't wealthy, you had a wash basin and a pitcher, just like in the Wild West,
Oh yeah.
and you
Mm,
took sponge baths, or you went to a club that had the steam bath or something like that. If you were in the upper class, and I don't ask me what the ladies did because all those clubs were geared for guys. So I'm going. This is very unequal, but it's a whole lot better than the Romans with the public baths that were basically
hmm
one big urinal.
mm,
Mhm. Well,
That
it's the
were a
same thing as a
social
swimming pool
gathering.
nowadays.
Yeah, social gathering.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
I have
and
lasted
toilet
as
paper
long
was a sponge on a stick.
as I can
Uh,
possibly manage to. I'm going to have to sign off.
Good
I
night,
hope all of
Chris.
y'all
It's
have a
quite all
great
right.
night.
Take it easy,
We've only
man.
got
It,
4 minutes left, and we're going to have to end the show. But you
yeah.
know,
And as has become my tradition on this show, Go good, guys.
Take it easy, man.
Dan
See you
knows
next time.
exactly what I'm
being
talking
here.
about.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Oh, over my googby. Yeah.
All right. We'll see you later. Take care.
All
Take
right.
care, man.
Night.
Nighty night.
Now, even my apartment, right? And I'm living in a 1970s four-story building. Um, I walk into the front door. You have bedroom number one, bedroom number two right next to it, which is my studio now. And then at the end of the hallway, like there, is the living room,
Mm-hmm.
which is gigantic for an apartment. You have the toilet right there to my right, and then I have to go through the kitchen to get to my bathroom. Where
weird.
They're
that is the
separated.
weirdest solution, but it makes everything square.
Yeah.
And it's
Yep.
so weird.
Inconvenient.
It's all about how you run the plumbing and the best use of space when you have limited amount of space.
And then, but the thing is, like my living room. Let me calculate this in my head really quick. 3 times 8. So 24 feet by 15 feet. That is my living room.
It's pretty
Like
big.
I got a sizable living room.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bigger than ours, and ours is big.
Half of it, like normally, the door is at the smack in the center. Most of these apartments actually have an extra wall, creating an extra bedroom. Mine is taken out, so I have literally a second apartment as a living room. The place I had before this literally had this room and the other one, and that was my entire apartment studio.
Okay, folks, shall we keep going or shall I end the show and just we'll keep talking after the show?
It's my
That's
money.
your
I don't
call.
care.
It doesn't matter. I mean, as long as I hit the end credits before I nod off, that's fine. We can go for
Then we can
however
leave
long we
or
want.
whatever. I don't care. I am down for whatever, but I'll have to be going soon.
I'm pretty sure Nita and I are both in. This is my time off right now.
Hey, it's Sunday morning, so I am absolutely fine. The only thing I have to do tomorrow is if it doesn't rain, I gotta crawl into the house and measure the distance between the floor joists so I can make reinforcements to repair the damage done by a water leak that I did not discover for months.
Oh, that sucks.
Ooh.
There's places in the floor that are falling through because this house was built by the Housing and Urban Development Organization back in the 60s, and it was made from scrap left over from other more lucrative housing projects. So nothing matches, and it's all paper mache basically.
Oh, fun times.
Oh yeah, well I know exactly what to do. I just got to crawl under there and measure stuff. Then I've got um, hydraulic bottle jacks to pump up everything into where it goes back to where it's supposed to be, and then I can put screws into the sides of the floor joist to hold the reinforcements in place. It's a very simple thing. I have to do it several dozen times, but I've got I can afford the lumber, which is a major cost right now.
Yeah,
But
it is.
I can afford to do it. The thing is, I need it not to rain, so I can get in the basement in the crawl space and do this stuff. But,
Fun.
it won't take long because I can pre-make all the parts once I know the measurements. But crawling down there with 15 generations of black widow spiders
Yeah,
is
you are
not a
not selling me
fun
on
time.
this.
Hey,
No.
they don't bother me. I don't bother them.
Mm,
It's not like it's full of rattlesnakes. It's just
Mm.
that you know of till you get down there.
Yeah.
this is true, but I try not to think about that.
Damn
I
it.
mean, I can handle spiders going. Oh, how you're beautiful. Now stay put. Don't
Yeah.
get annoyed. I've got to reach up through here and do this. You should have seen me when I went under the house to fix that plumbing leak. Um, this thing was like a shower spray, and it went on for months, and we didn't know about it
Oh
until
Oh,
the
wow.
until the floor started giving way in the closet that has the water heater.
Oh damn.
Yep. And
Well.
then I had to go and turn off the water supply to the house, and I had to go and measure the diameter of the pipes,
Mm-hmm.
and figure out a patch, or go out and buy the piece that I needed to patch that. Basically, I cut out a 2-inch section of copper pipe, half an inch diameter, and I put a joint in there. Not one of the fun kind of joints, but the plumbing joint, and that got rid of the water leak uh, pretty much permanently. And then now that everything has dried out, we've been running the dehumidifier for months
ugh.
to try and dry out the particle board and the chip board and all this other cheap shit they built the house
Wow.
out of, instead of some quality plywood.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've got to go in, and what I've got is a 2x4 and a 2x6, and I'm going to make the 2x6 just wide enough to fit in between the floor joists, and the 2x4 is going to be a support under each end of the 2x6. Then I get under there with the hydraulic jack, and I pump everything up to where it's supposed to be, and go
Mm-hmm.
"Yeet, yeet, yeet," and put some, get the drill through there, and uh, bolt and screw everything. Well, screw everything up. I hope not, but screw everything tightly to where it holds the weight of the floor. And then once all the bracing is done, I can go through and I can rip out all the peel and stick floor tile in the kitchen and in the living room in the affected areas, in the hallway in the affected areas, and I can take my circular saw and set it for shallow, so it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't cut through the floor joists, but cuts through the weakened particle board and chipboard, and replace that with 3/4 inch plywood, and it'll be 2 layers. So I'm actually replacing an inch and a half, but that's not outside of my skill set. I mean, I grew up on a farm. I can do just about all kinds of carpentry and several kinds of plumbing and automotive repair for something that was built in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Hey, I can't do the stuff with the computers shit now. I've got to take that to a shop. But if it's simple
Shit,
stuff, I can do it.
you can hardly do the simple stuff anymore. They compact everything so tightly you
Yeah.
can't maneuver around in these cars. Like,
Oh, I know. I had to replace the alternator in my van, and I wound up. I was supposed to take one of the fenders off of the body and the radiator off
Mm-hmm.
and the tire in order to have enough room to maneuver the alternator out of its place. And I'm going, surely there's got to be a redneck way I can do this. So I figured out I can take all of the bolts out of the radiator and pull it against the hoses just a little bit, and I can make sure that I've got the it's not a serpentine belt, but the fan belts basically. It's one big belt that goes through all the air conditioner, the alternator, and whatever else, the power steering pump, and get that out of the way. Take photographs so I know how to put it back,
Oh yeah.
and then it took me 2 days to figure out how to MacGyver that alternator out of its space
No.
and get it out and take it down and get a replacement. And then it took about another day, I'd say maybe day and a half, to get it back in place because the first time I put it back in, I put it in backwards and I had to pull it out again
Oh my gosh. Nope.
and turn it around and then put it back in because it was my fault. I put the damn thing in backwards the first time. And as soon as I got it in the right way, it was just a matter of put the belt back on, tighten that, put the radiator back, tighten those bolts. I'm not going to put that plastic thing across the top of the engine compartment because I'm always having to pull the headlights out and replace bulbs. So, why? I mean, sure, it's aerodynamic. It might help with the cooling for the radiator, but it's in the freaking way. I'm not redoing 16 bolts on a 10 millimeter wrench that I might lose. I mean, how many people have you ever heard complain that they need the 10 millimeter, but they've lost it again? And I'm going, I went out and
Oh
bought
yeah.
I went out and bought 4 of them others. And I've got them stashed. If I lose a 10 millimeter, I've got a replacement. Yes, indeed. Matter of fact, when it came, I just had to replace a headlight bulb. I walked out there and I go, okay, where'd I put the wrench? Look behind the driver's seat. I've got a little tool bag there. I looked in. There is a ratchet and a 10 millimeter socket right there, ready and waiting. I've even got it the direction on the ratchet so that next time I use it, it's taking bolts out rather than putting bolts in. I planned
Yeah.
ahead. So it took like 5 minutes, and the hardest part was going, this is like trying to change something on the Mach 5 here. This is one big old headlight unit. What do okay. I pull that up a little bit and go, whole damn headlight assembly comes out, still wired up. So I go turn the key on, look and go, which light bulb is it again? Oh, okay, it's that one. Okay. So take that off, look at the light bulb, and I go, that ain't nothing like the ones at the store.
Nope.
Look in the glove box. I've got a spare in the glove box.
Nice.
Don't even have to go buy one. I'm going to go by the parts store and get another couple of spares for the next time this happens. So I'll have both sides. What I did the last time was one headlight went out. I replaced both of them, and I had one of the old ones left over that was still good, so I stuck it in the glove box. Oh yeah, Rich. Yeah. Love your reference to Mach 5. Yes. Well, and my van has exactly the same sort of headlight assembly. It's all one big old piece. Now, of course, mine is frosted now instead of being clear, but I ain't wasting time trying to polish that up. I'll get on some parts store website and get entirely new headlight enclosures and put on the thing if I really give that much of a shit. Um, yeah, and I grew up on the farm. We had to work on the tractor every day. There was one thing: before you started the tractor, you had to take a little about the size of a cake pan. You had to take
Hmm.
this little piece off of the bottom. It was full of oil, and there was a filter inside. So you had to drain the oil and then wash the filter in kerosene and then put it back with the pan filled with fresh oil. It was not something that went circulated in the motor. This was just to keep the filter oiled up so that
Hmm.
all the dust that got sucked in through the air intake for the tractor would cake up on that little filter.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, we had a grain combine, uh, grain and corn. My dad would take some of this old oil and a rag, and the top of the tower that the air flowed through to go through the radiator of the combine, he would just coat the outside casing of this thing with oil, and the dust would cake up there instead of caking up inside the radiator. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
you didn't have to take 4 hours with a high pressure water hose and clean all the dust out of the radiator fins. It was all on the outside, and you just wiped it off.
Yep.
Yeah. My dad was a machinist, and he worked at Oak Ridge, so he learned a few tricks.
A couple of months ago, I live on the top floor, so water damage means a lot of damage. My neighbor knocks on my door. She is as technically inept as a dead beetle, and she's like, "I've got water damage."
Uh-oh.
Okay, where is where's your water valve to cut everything off? I don't know. I barely woke up. I didn't even have I didn't even have coffee yet. She woke me up out of bed.
Mm.
It had already been flowing for 20 minutes. The overflow valve for her boiler exploded.
Oh Lord.
I live on the third floor. Every floor below her had hundreds of thousands of water damage.
Mm.
Like we had parts of the floor that needed to be replaced, parts of the concrete. Everything because I got it fixed. I got the water turned off. Called the guys that needed to take care of it. They didn't take care of it properly. Had to send in another company to get it fixed properly. The house owning company didn't send us the right guy, so it was their fault. They got everything repaired, no problems whatsoever. Otherwise, every single one of them would have been completely bankrupt, even with their mandatory insurance by government.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, like that was so bad. Like half the building would like we are in the center of this building. Their apartments were sagging. It's reinforced concrete.
Whoa.
Yeah, though that took a couple of months.
Hmm.
My life has been filled with drilling, and I'm surprised it never showed up on streams because it was loud. Yeah, I know. That was fucked up.
You'd be amazed at what noise cancellation can do. I've got two fans running right now, and
Oh
nobody
no
can
no
hear
no!
them.
I heard it through the entire building. Don't worry about that. It was just not
Wow.
picking up on my microphone for some
That's what I'm
reason.
saying. I've got two fans running right now, blowing straight at me, and y'all can't hear them. Noise
No.
cancellation on the headphones.
Hmm.
Huh.
We've had some chats where, um, like Thursday night, where it's still early, had the attic fan going, and that thing sounds like a '57 Chevy in overdrive,
Mhm.
hitting the sweet spot on the highway. I'm talking loud, and nobody can hear it because the
Yeah.
program, the StreamYard does noise cancellation. The headphones does noise cancellation. Between the two of them, does quite a lot, quite a good deal. Uh, Now I'm wondering, how much water does it take to get concrete to
That's
sag?
what I'm saying. Concrete to buckle.
That's a lot
Um,
of water.
our pressure lines do about 1.5 liters a minute. No, 6 liters a minute, so 1.5 gallons.
Yeah, but the concrete's still got to soak it up.
Yeah, it's the problem is because it took like 6 hours for the guys to actually come to repair the thing. It had all the time in the world to get soaked up.
And how long did the leak go on before she discovered it?
Not that long, but it took her about half an hour to wake me up.
Oh shit.
Okay, I
We're
can
talking
see
half a
that.
ton of water.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of water.
The the
Definitely.
the, the end. I am so extremely happy. I have everything downstairs in my storage on um on shelves because even my storage was flooded,
Oh,
and
that
I'm on
Hmm.
the that is on the other side of the entire hallway. Um, these
Rich is
buildings
asking,
are
how old is the
from
concrete?
72, so 50 years old now,
Okay, yeah.
but they were built as cheaply as possible because they were hired hired immigrant
So it's clay
housing.
sand and concrete.
Hmm. It's the everything. So
It's
yeah,
it's cornflakes and super glue.
then almost with a little bit of iron woven in there to act like it's sturdy.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
you hope it's iron.
It's
It's scrap
sawdust and
metal left
pine
over
sap.
from another building is what it is.
Oh my gosh.
Probably, probably.
All right,
So
guys.
yeah.
I think
I'm
I think the
bouncing.
same folks built your building as built my house.
I'm gonna go try to take a nap
Oh,
before Sunday funnies.
Oh,
So
okay.
I shall
Okay.
see
okay.
y'all later. Y'all have a good
Nita,
night. Yo,
Nita, thank you so very much. I mean, I
for
always
what?
enjoy being in your company, but anytime you want to show up, you go for it.
Oh, well, thank you, man. All right, I'll talk to you
Always
guys
pleasure,
later.
sweetheart.
All
Okay,
right,
Good
man.
sweetie.
night.
See y'all.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, 50 years that concrete had a lot of time to break down. Exactly. Like they
Yeah, and it had a lot of time to lose uh all of the water that should have been in those molecules had
yeah.
evaporated. So it went, oh, I'm a sponge now.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah.
it really did. The first thing I noticed, because I ended up just getting, doing damage control on all two apartments below us, and then
Mhm.
the ground floor. Um, the woman living in the center apartment wasn't even there. Her dad, who was like 85, had to come by and open up the door so he could take care of things.
Mhm.
Um, and the first thing I noticed is just a single crack going through the entire hallway of the building, right
Oh,
in the center.
that's not a good sign.
No. So I called the housing company again and said, "You are going to send an inspector right now, and if you don't, you are going to pay a lot more money than if you come right now. You
Mhm.
already made a mistake. Don't make another one."
Oh,
They replace
dear.
concrete and overpasses like every 10. No, they don't. Not here. Yeah.
They should
Mm-hmm.
here. Sometimes they wait until there's actual damage, and sometimes there's a hobo village underneath that sets fire to a tire and sets the entire overpass on fire because asphalt does burn.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's been a couple of times in Atlanta where a homeless community has destroyed tens of thousands of dollars worth of overpass on a major highway.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking 6 lanes, 8 lanes get closed down to two,
Mm-hmm.
and only one in each direction.
Yep.
So
Yeah, no, asphalt gets replaced very constantly.
yeah,
Considerably.
yeah,
I
a
don't know
whole
how
lot
many
more
years.
regularly. Yeah, but
I'm not a road. I'm not a road worker. I was a paver. So and we do brickwork as our pavement. So um, I know
oh,
everything about that.
believe it or
Don't get me
not,
started
there's
on
one.
it. It causes PTSD and it causes fight or flight response because I had such a bad time there. But
Be- Believe it or not, there is one small stretch of road, which is on a steep hill, over in Athens, about 30 miles away from me. It is still cobblestones from the
yeah,
1700s. It's the only stretch of cobblestone road in the entire county that has been preserved as a historical monument, basically,
huh.
to how stupid people can be laying out a road. But
You know what? We
I mean,
do it rather than asphalt because, like Florida, everything sinks. Like we are on very
yes.
unstable ground. So the reason we do brickwork is because it avoids sinkholes. You
Hmm.
instantly see where the sinkholes are, so you can instantly fill them up. And if it's an asphalt road, if it's not reinforced properly, there's going to be a sinkhole, and a car or a truck is just going to drive over it, and at some
And
point it's going to do poof,
exactly.
and we want to
That
avoid
happens
that.
in Florida quite a lot. Where
Oh yeah.
it's mostly limestone or and sand,
Yep.
and you pave over top of that without reinforcing it, you're asking for trouble eventually.
Exactly. No, that's why unless it's highways and bigger roads, we don't use asphalt because and we use an open type of asphalt that lets
Oh,
water through because it rains so much it needs to be able to drain out. So that's why the Netherlands is very green as well. Like we have a lot of grass because it allows the water to drain. I am literally 15 feet under sea level if I'm on the ground.
yep.
So yeah, it, you gotta live with that.
Yeah, you do. And if the dikes break, everybody's underwater
That's why we're so
for
tall.
miles and miles and miles. Yes. And yes, I did not make the joke, but I could have. I thought of it,
Mhm.
but I didn't make the joke. No. Um, oh Lord. Okay, we've been running for 2.5 hours now, and you've got to get to work. No, you don't have to get to work. It's Sunday morning there.
Now, trust me, I've got plenty of work laid out for me. It's just not in my side job.
Hmm.
I have to format 2 books. I gotta fix my VAT for this quarter of the year. Maybe get some inking done, but probably not, because the rest is gonna take so much time. And I might be at the Sunday Funnies over on the Rage and 2 Broadcast Network with Randy Zimmerman, but we'll see. Depends on how quickly I get done with things.
Exactly. And I will be asleep and I will miss Sunday Funnies, but I usually do. And my wife is going to get up in 5 hours and go to church. Ooh, I hope her car starts. That's all I can say about that. I hope her car starts.
That would be nice.
Well, it's an older car and there's a problem with the design of the alternators. So if you don't crank the car and drive it every day, or it's not summertime, the battery loses the charge overnight. So unless I want to wake up way too early and either jump start her car or get up early enough to put the battery charger on it so it'll start. I pray for warm weather and that the damn thing will actually crank for her. And we bought the car from a little old lady who lives next door to my mom. And she drove it every day, so she didn't have any problem.
Yeah.
But my wife does not drive every day. She doesn't have any place she needs to go every day. It might be a week, it might be a month, except for driving to church every week, that she would actually crank the car and drive it long enough to charge up. And the church is only like 2 miles away, so that's not quite enough time to give it a good charge.
Yeah.
It needs a good 30-mile drive.
Yeah.
But one of these days, I'm just going to go down to the used car lot and go, you got something that cranks every damn day? I don't care what it costs. Give it to me.
Yep.
And my wife will get a new car. Well, new to us anyway.
As long as it works.
I don't care what century. I don't care what century it was made in, as long as I don't have to get out there and turn a handle to crank it. As long as it starts every day, that's all it takes. We'll deal with anything else. But thank you, Jimmy, for being here tonight. And
always a pleasure.
Oh, everything you do, and yeah, if I will make an acceptable voice actor for a part, and you do seem to believe that I will be glad to do that. I'll tell my wife, don't open the door, crank the TV down a notch or two, use the closed captioning. I've got to do some recording stuff, and I've done a little bit of that before, so you would be getting individual lines as sound files or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just splice those in where they're needed. And I know the drill. If you think I'd be right for the character, that's my normal voice or any other voice that I can do, which is not many, but I don't imagine you need a real redneck voice for anything. But
no rednecks on Cora. No, I'm gonna finish this this episode first, and what happens afterwards is entirely, for the future. I don't know. I'm just having fun making a pilot. That's the thing too. I'm not obligated. I'm doing this for fun. And the people that I have around me, I told the same. I can't pay you. This is for fun. If you would like to do this, that's on you.
I didn't ask for money. I just said if you need help, I'll be willing to help. Put my name somewhere. That's all I care about.
Obviously, like always, like the credits where credits are due. That's the least I can do. And that's something that, yeah, you put in the time, you put in the effort, so you deserve to get your credit.
Music, voice, and inappropriate humor by Dan Hollifield. Well, let's go ahead and I will run the bedtime story, and we'll both of us attempt to go to bed. Well, no, you just got up. You attempt to go get some work done while I go.
Oh yeah.
And be a lazy ass and go to sleep. But
get some rest now.
Thank you very much.
I'll get you next time.
Thank you very much. See you next week, hopefully.
Probably.
And good night, everybody. And everybody that's watching on the replay, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, whatever. I rarely say that. I really don't care. It's not like I want to get monetized on this. I'm having fun. Everybody here, I'm hoping, is having fun. And that's all that really matters. But I would like for y'all to know next time we do this so that you get advance warning. It can run screaming for the hills. Good night, everybody. Well, I clicked
Transmission
it.
overload.
System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.